Zach, is that you that started recording?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yes, that was me.
Okay. Have we got, and you're doing Scouts BSA?
I'll record Scouts BSA.
You got Scouts BSA?
Yep.
Okay, very good.
I'll do Cub Scouts. Yeah, perfect.
Very, very good. Thank you. Welcome again, everyone. It's good to see all of you.
Good evening, everybody.
Wait just another minute here as I see people still popping in. All right, I think we will get rolling here. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to Roundtable for April. I realize this is a church night for some, and others may be traveling with the holiday and spring break and things like that. So we do appreciate those of you that are joining us this evening. Just a couple of reminders. Please use chat if you have questions, but also if you could post your unit number, that helps us to make sure we get the information to all of the units that need it. And just be aware of background noise. Use mute if you need to. We do have 2 breakouts this month, one for Cub Scouts and one for Scouts BSA when we get to that section of the meeting. And as always, this meeting is being recorded. The slideshow and the video will be posted on the Gateway Scouting Roundtable page for you to view later if you need to get links or if you need to just go back and remember something. I am Matt Pegliero. I am a Cub Master in Holmen, but we do have a whole team of people that helps to put these roundtables together. Some of the content comes from National Scouts BSA, but a lot of it comes right here from the council. If you have any suggestions or questions about future roundtables, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. And with that, we will do our opening. I didn't see, David, did you jump on here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, very good.
Okay, so we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're not in uniform, hand over your heart. If you're in uniform, Scout sign. So I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible with liberty for justice and all. Yeah, I might have messed that up. Okay, Scout oath. So Scout sign again. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And continuing with the Scout law, a Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And finally, we'll do the outdoor code. So as an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, to be careful with fire, to be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation minded. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So we do have a busy evening, so we're going to get right into it with our safety moment and hot topic before we jump over to our breakouts. So our safety moment tonight is on depression, and I think Morgan was going to do this one.
Yeah. So, thinking about this, we want to be aware of not only our scouts, but also our fellow adult leaders, and, helping someone cope with depression, that can be along the lines of, just be a listening ear, helping them out with little things like taking attendance for this meeting, or getting an activity planned instead of them for that week because they're feeling overwhelmed, things like that. On the side here, it shows, like some symptoms or that would show from being in depression. So irritable mood, declining lack of interest, excessive sleeping or not sleeping at all, fatigue, thinking of being worried all the time, things like that. And so our main thing is just, we want to be aware of these things and know that there is help locally. The number 211 is a good number to call at any time if you're needing any help, and be there for each other.
All right. Thank you, Morgan. Definitely a serious issue now, and something that I think, especially with COVID, there's a lot more awareness, but definitely more concern about this topic as well. All right, our hot topic for this month has to do with a new leader application and background check that's required. Joe, do you have some information for us?
Yeah, we'll just share real briefly. So there is a revised and updated Boy Scouts of America adult application form. And it's very easy to recognize if you're utilizing the new form or the old form, as the new form is portrait based rather than landscape. And Matt, if you actually want to click the link, we'll bring the application up. The reason there's a new form, some of the different items that an adult is consenting to when they agree to become a member of the Boy Scouts of America have been updated. And then there's also some revised information in there to educate a new volunteer about kind of the expectations of the organization and things like that as well. I do want to point out that when somebody
can you all see, I'm sorry, Joe, can you all see this?
Yes.
when somebody joins the Boy Scouts of America, they are consenting to have their background check conducted not only the first time they join, but also that background check can reoccur periodically over somebody's tenure in scouting. Not unusual to have somebody that's maybe scout volunteer for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And, we can recognize that it would be appropriate to continue to check somebody's background during that time period, just to ensure that they're the right person to be involved with our youth. If you want to scroll down a little bit, Matt. One thing that I also like with the new form, so here it has some good boilerplate, talks about the requirements of being an adult volunteer. So a useful thing when you're maybe recruiting a new parent or things like that. Talks about the expectation for not only youth protection training, but also training for somebody's specific position, which is also available online. Has information on there on mandatory reporting, points out that any of us as scout volunteers, are considered to be mandatory reporters of making a notification if we think that a child is in danger, either due to something happening at home or something happening in scouting. And then it also points out, BSA privacy policy, things like that as well. On the actual form, there's a little bit less information required than what it was before. So you can see that we're have streamlined that a little bit, just asking for one phone number instead of multiple phone numbers for somebody. Social security number still is required, as that's the identifier that's used with the criminal screening database. The thing that I would ask everybody to please be attentive to with this is that as soon as somebody starts in your unit as an adult volunteer, we need your help to get this form completed as quickly as possible. Sometimes units will hang on to these until the next charter or things like that, but really to ensure that somebody is the right person to be around our kids, we need this application in as soon as they start their time in scouting, because that's the only way that background check occurs. If there's any questions on that, I can take them individually in the chat feature, or we can handle it at the end of the meeting here as well. I want to thank everybody for the role that they play in providing a safe program for our kids and a safe program for scouting in our communities. You all have a really important part in that, so thank you.
Joel, can I ask a question? Do we have to wait until their youth protection certification is done to hand these in?
So somebody can't officially register as a member of the troop until the youth protection form is in, but the background check can still occur. So what I would ask is that you get the form in right away, and then let the individual know that they should complete their youth protection, and they can either send that certificate to the unit to send in, or they can send it into the council directly. Typically the two systems do cross check, but it's always a good best practice to just grab an image of that certificate, but get the application in as soon as possible, because that's what allows that background check to occur, and then registration occurs with the completion of YPT. I would ask that people start to use this form as as soon as possible. If you bring in a form for, if you have a form previously filled out and you're just waiting to get it to the office, we'll still accept it. But, beginning in May here, we're going to need the new form for everybody. At the in-person scouting, meetings, we will have forms there for you to pick up. So at the May roundtable, when we gather in person, we'll have forms for you to pick up there. We'll also have forms for pickup at the Centennial Camporee in May, and then they're also available here at the office right now. If you're further out and would like some, get in touch with Zach or Morgan, and we can have some mailed out to you as well.
All right, thank you. And this, just to clarify, Joe, this is just for new leaders, right? Currently registered leaders do not have to fill out a new form.
Right. Anybody that's currently registered, you've provided a form within the last 2 or 3 years that consented for that re-background check to occur in the future if appropriate.
All right, very good. Just need to get the right screen back up here. Okay, so we are now at the point where we're going to do our breakouts for our Scouts BSA and our district. So do we have self-select enabled, or are people going to be assigned this month?
I've got people assigned for the most part. So everybody else that may not have put their unit number in there that I didn't know would be on self-select.
All right, thank you, Zach. We'll see you all back here. We're planning to come back at 7:45.
Okay. So that'll give us 35 minutes. All right, there we go. Joe, are you able to pop in and out?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Then I see Lisa's joining right now.
It was Scouts BSA was doing what NYLT promo to start with. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll just go over to Cub Scouts then.
Lisa, do you want to go to Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts? Let's throw you in Scouts BSA because they're talking NYLT. Join here.
Okay. Can everyone see the slideshow?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, very good. All right, so before we get into our actual discussion, there's a couple of topics pertaining to Cub Scouts that we wanted to cover for everyone. The first is Baloo training. I don't see, is there anyone from the training team on to cover this one? If not, Zach, do you want to give a quick overview?
Yeah. I don't think we've got anybody on the training team over here, but Baloo training is required for Cub Scout packs if you guys want to do an overnight camping trip. And so this is just a one-night training from Saturday, May 14th to Sunday, May 15th out at Camp Decorah, where you get trained and kind of learn about, just a couple tips and tricks on when you are taking a group out camping, what to think about. It's a little bit different than going with just your family, and you may have some families that have never gone camping before either. So it's a good review to go over with your unit as well. But yeah, that's Baloo, and it's required for any overnight activity, and it's suggested for kind of any more adventurous outdoor activities too. So good information.
So packs need at least one Baloo trained leader present for those overnight activities, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So talk to volunteers in your unit, get people trained so you can do those activities. Thank you, Zach. Before we get to the discussion, I did want to just share a few resources, and these are things that a lot of these have really been shared throughout the year in one roundtable or another, but I just wanted to put everything in one spot for leaders and volunteers to to have it and have the links available if you want to use those. So there's a few websites that that come from National BSA that have a lot of resources. So there's one for kind of more geared towards Cub Masters. They have a lot of the leader handbooks and things like that published on that site. There is this website that has pack meeting plans that have Scout Law theme that are based on the Scout Law themes. I think there's like 3 pack meeting plans for each point of the Scout Law. And so that can help leaders with if you're looking for planning a meeting. And then there's also a site that's more specifically geared towards den leaders, activities, kind of the requirements, things like that. And then also do not forget about the National Summertime Pack Award. Packs can, if you plan 3 events during the summer, June, July, and August, your scouts can earn a special award for doing that. And it helps keep families connected, helps keep your scouts connected to the pack and thinking scouting throughout the summer. So those are some resources kind of pertaining to the Cub Scout program. And then a couple of others, just to mention, if you haven't had a chance to check out Scouting Magazine on Facebook, there's a lot of good content there. They do weekly, like a weekly live podcast geared specifically towards Cub Scouts. I think those come out on Fridays. And just a lot of other good topics and things get posted. Cub Scout Ideas is a non-official Scout website, but there's a lot of really good ideas and things, and you can actually subscribe to this one and then things come into your email. I don't know if anybody else has checked that one out. And then Kate Russell actually put me onto this one, perfectpotluck.com. If you're planning a potluck, which we often do in Cub Scouts, this website it makes it really easy to assign dishes and even suggest how many of each type of dish depending on the crowd that you're expected, and people can sign up right there. So a lot of good resources to help you out going forward. So yeah, there we go. Okay. So for our discussion, we do have a video and then some discussion questions. So this is kind of the big topic of how do we get our parents to volunteer? So I'm going to share, the other site here. All right, does everybody see the video on the screen? We're good? Okay, here we go.
All right, before we get started, Peter, can you hand me a bottle of water, please? Thank you. Hey, many of us volunteer every day without even knowing it. Peter just volunteered to help me by getting me a bottle of water. In this roundtable, we're going to discuss the most common mistakes PACs make when they try to get parents to volunteer. So welcome to Roundtable, where everyone volunteers. First, let me apologize for the title because I don't want you to think that if you don't have every parent in your pack volunteering, that you are somehow doing something wrong. I also don't want you to think that I'm under the delusion that getting every parent to volunteer is a realistic goal. What we do know is that studies and surveys show that the majority of parents with Cub Scout age children expect to volunteer in some manner for their child's activities. This just isn't a Cub Scout thing. In the Roundtable video, Welcoming New Families, posted on October 2020, we shared the first thing that a pack needs to do to welcome new families is to create a culture of fun and friendship in your pack. This is so important that it does bear repeating, because it really is the key to creating a culture where parents volunteer. So if you missed that video, go check it out. There's another great resource that you should watch if you haven't already done so, and that's the Roundtable video, Getting Parents Involved. In that video, we share a proven technique for getting more parents to help with the tasks that need to get done in your pack. So in this roundtable, we're going to go and address the most common mistakes PAC make when they try to get parents to volunteer. Now, leaders say that they have a difficult time recruiting parents, and often they tell me that what they do is they get parents together in a room and they tell them that they need help. They may stand up at a blue and gold and say something like this: "We really need more parents to help out with our pack. Please, if you can help, we need you. If you like to be on the pack committee, we need you. We'll find a spot for you." There's so much wrong with this approach. The overall error is that you're not asking a specific person to do a specific task. You will notice that this is one of the reasons why the method shared in getting parents involved actually works. You're asking specific people to do a specific task. A task that a person chooses. It wasn't assigned. A task that may or may not include being a registered leader. Now, the other thing that I would say about this approach is that no one wants to board a sinking ship. When you give a desperate plea for help to parents, it just comes off as just that, desperate. Looking desperate is never a good approach when you want to attract people to help. Now, at the beginning of the video, I asked Peter, someone specific, to get me a bottle of water, a specific task. I know Peter, and I know that he has the skills necessary to do this task. He knows where the water is. He knows how to pick it up. He can bring it to me. He's also motivated because if my throat and mouth remain moist, the better I can read the teleprompter. The less takes we have to do, and the quicker we can get this done and move on to the next project. There are 2 other people in the studio as we're filming this. If I had asked, will someone get me a bottle of water? The first thing that would have happened is 3 people would have looked at each other, wondering, who's he talking to? Then, what if one of them didn't know where the water was? They would be thinking, well, he's not talking to me. During this moment of silence and confusion, I would start thinking, well, no one wants to help me. Now, think about what happens if you have 10 people in a room and you ask, we need more parents to help out. Now, this is what people are actually thinking when you say that. Who are they talking to? Are they talking to me? I don't even know how this Cub Scout program works, so they certainly can't be talking to me. This must not be very important if they're just asking anyone to do it. Hey, I got 15 minutes before I have to leave and pick up my other kids. This is completely unorganized. I am not sure I want to be part of this. All right, so now that you know what happens when you ask a group of people all at once with a generic plea for help, we hope you will avoid it. We recommend using the proven techniques described in the Roundtable video titled Getting Parents Involved. This is especially effective if you have a lot of positions or tasks that need to be done or filled all at once. Now, when you have a key leadership position to fill, like a den leader, cub master, or pack committee chair, you really should use the Recruiting Volunteer Leaders brochure found on scouting.org. This tool will walk you through an effective method for identifying and recruiting these key positions. Now, this tool focuses on the concept of first identifying skill sets needed for the position and then identifying those who have those skill sets. The biggest mistake people make in this area is thinking that tenure or prior scouting experience is required for every leadership position, and that simply just isn't true. Now, you want to have regularly scheduled meetings with your parents. Now, I often share how we built a pack by having monthly parent meetings. Now, this really was our PAC committee, but we didn't want anyone to think that we didn't want their help. So when you say you are having a PAC committee meeting, only people who are registered leaders and know that they are on the PAC committee attend. When you call it a parent meeting, the name of the meeting itself indicates you expect all parents to attend. This simple tip is another way to create a welcoming environment. Our standard PAC schedule was to have den meetings the first 2 weeks of the month, PAC meetings on the 3rd week, and the parents meeting the 4th week. We decided to have all our meetings on Tuesdays. So in our community, Tuesday night was Cub Scout night. Now, I'm not suggesting that your PAC needs to have the same cadence. I share this to demonstrate that we put some thought into what would work best for our parents. We felt it was important to just have one night a week, and we thought it would be important to keep that night the same each week. Now, we didn't always get every parent to attend, but we always had enough parents who were willing to help with tasks that needed to get done. Regularly scheduled meetings for parents is also an opportunity to do something very important, and that is to build a PAC community. We talked about this in an episode of Cub Chat Live, and you can watch that episode and all the past episodes on the Scouting Magazine Facebook page. The parent meeting doesn't need to be boring either, and it doesn't need to be in the same place that you hold your PAC meetings. Perhaps it's held at a coffee shop, or maybe there's a family in your PAC that would be willing to host the meeting in their house. The point is to think of it this way. The more attractive you make the meeting to the parents you serve, the more likely they will attend. And remember, refreshments are always a good way to attract people. Now, I saved the most common mistake for last, and that is simply not asking. Yes, I know that seems odd. What is even more odd is that leaders who say they ask all the time will still have parents say, I was never asked. This isn't an indication of not asking, it is how you are asking. Remember, ask a specific person to do a specific task. This may provide a number of choices from which the person selects a task. Don't make desperate pleas for help. Watch the Roundtable videos titled Welcoming New Families and Getting Parents Involved, and have regularly scheduled meetings that parents want to come to. Now, for the best part, it's time for you to share with others. Consider these questions. What tip in this video did you find the most helpful or insightful? What do you do that works best for your PAC to get parents to volunteer? What changes are you planning to make based on what you learned from this roundtable? Have you seen the roundtable videos welcoming new families and getting parents involved? If so, did you make any changes to your PAC based on what you learned from those roundtables? That's it for this roundtable. I look forward to seeing you at the next roundtable.
All right. Well, Matt, you had, there were some questions that you had a slide.
Yes, I do. I'm trying to get it up here.
Okay,
My mouse is being a little funny on me.
sure.
Can you see the slideshow? Right now,
Yes.
did it jump back to the slideshow? Okay.
Yes, it did. Well, I know that that hit home. I think I've stood in front of a couple of parent meetings and just made that kind of desperate plea for help. I think I've even sent out emails. So hopefully I'm not alone on that. I probably was doing that somewhat wrong, but I think, I'm looking, I think everyone's tried different things, and I'd have to agree that the pointed question, asking somebody to do something to help out in an event or an activity definitely is working. I just did that actually this week. I had was informed I was taking on too much and had to ask a couple of parents to take over the lead on our big high adventure next year and in our boundary water trip later this year or later this summer. So it works. They're out there to help. But first question we have is what one thing do you do that works to get parents to volunteer? Has anybody else experienced that where what works and what doesn't work? Brenda, maybe you can lead us off with, you have your kind of
I can do that. I would say the direct approach, going up and asking a specific parent if they can help with something. So for example, when we were planning our blue and gold for our Weeblos this last year, I kind of delegated that somebody take care of making sure that we had the decorations all set up and had those I had enough of them. Another one was to research and see what kind of a theme we wanted to do. So the direct approach was the best for me. Parents were always more than willing to help out when I did that.
okay. Do you assign it to one thing we did was it was always the Weeblo twos families that were kind of the leaders of the
Yes.
blue and gold?
Yes, for that specific task, yes, that group did do that. If I wanted somebody to help me go with recruiting and stuff like that, I would specifically get up in front of the pack and say that we need some help with some parents and from the kids, and we would get them to sign up from the schools that they actually attend. So that was always helpful too. but Yep.
Okay. Anybody else
know.
have? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know one thing that we did with 68 for quite a few years is at the beginning of the year, we would kind of make a list because we did our planning either in the summer
Yep.
or in that spring before. So we knew all the events, we knew our activities, we knew outings, we knew what we had coming up. If not for 6 months, we had it for the full year. I like planning for the full year because then you don't have to do it again. It's just done. But what we would do is actually make a list on our marker board. This is everything we have coming up. It seems like a lot. It can be a little overwhelming, but when the parents go down the list and you talk about what each event is, you're going to get that parent that goes, that's the one I want to help with, or this is the one I want to help with, because it's in their wheelhouse. So it really works where they can find their niche and put it into practice. The other thing that we've done when we didn't have a lot of volunteers was if we don't have somebody to help coordinate all this, we're not going to be able to do it. And do we want to have to explain to the kids that, sorry, nobody wanted to help do it, so we're not doing this event, or we can't do this outing, or we can't do whatever it is? Guilts the parents a little bit, but they want their kids to have that experience as well. So it kind of puts
Yep.
that back into, it's not the Cub Master's responsibility or, you know, the leadership's responsibility. It really is the parents that need to help with that. So I'm very visual. I know our parents, just being able to see the list of, this is what we've got going on. You guys decide what you want to do. These are your kids. Really kind of open the door up for the parents to be able to, you know, say, I'll take a couple things and that's what I'll be responsible for. So that's what we've done in the past. It's really been useful.
Yeah.
I like
that's
that
it.
idea, Amber.
Yeah.
That was a really good idea. One thing Matt did in 91 when we rechartered, he lost a lot of the positions that the parents in the Weeblo 2 group held. So he got a list together and he wrote it down what each of those positions were and handed it out at our PAC meetings, a couple of our PAC meetings, and he got more leaders for those positions. So that really helped, but I really like your idea, Amber. That was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the other thing that we did is we explained it isn't one person responsible. So have a couple people
Right.
jump in and say, you know, it's so and so, you guys take that on. And so they're not feeling all the pressure of doing it by themselves or being solely responsible. But it's just a great way to kind of put it back on the parents, and everybody finds their niche, which is really nice.
Zach, you had a comment?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, Matt writing down kind of what the responsibilities or what the different positions he's looking for are. A lot of volunteering just comes down to the fear of the unknown. And if people
Yep.
don't know what they're being asked to do or volunteering for, like, hey, can you be a den leader? Well, I don't know what the heck a den leader is. You know, this is my first time experiencing scouts. So that's where having like the den leader book or some resources or some, you know, defining, hey, this is what we need you to, you know, kind of get accomplish here. Just helps people kind of wrap their head around, like going back then to what Amber said, you know, this is what's in my wheelhouse. Hey, I know I can fit in this role.
Mhm.
And to go with that, I would sometimes I would caution against providing too much information right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to overwhelm people, right? So what Brenda was talking about, I mean, the list was a very short, concise description of
Mhm.
those positions. And it
One
wasn't,
page.
yep. And it was one page with all of them, right? So that they had it all in one place. And it's not like I was expecting people to sign up that night. It was
Right.
more of, here's what we're looking for. Here's the information. Think about this. Think of how you could help out. And then as the year has gone on, we've been I've had some people that have stepped forward and said, hey, I can do this, or we feel this is something we can do. Or at least when I've gone and asked people, is this something you could do, that it's not brand new to them. When I'm approaching them for the first time, they have an idea of what that position is when I go to them.
Mhm.
All right. So, yeah, and then what would, from that video, what tips did you pull from there that you thought were most helpful? Margaret, did you have anything that you discovered that was new in that video?
No, but I think basically coming up with a list of what your needs are. And then trying to figure out who would be the good person for that and find, corner them individually. And ask them one-on-one. They don't feel so intimidated in front of everybody that way.
I thought the comment about not being desperate, I guess I've experienced that in other areas myself, if you just seem desperate, it's like asking somebody to jump on board a sinking ship. That was a good analogy. But being desperate doesn't help. I know that.
No, they'll run the other way.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing that Amber said was that I really liked was it's really up to the parents to make this a memorable activity for their kids. I really think that that's a huge statement right there. The kids are going to have as much fun as the parents invest their time. I don't know if we can make that a slogan or not, but that one is something that I really like that Amber said too.
I have found with certain things like a blue and gold banquet or something like that, just one specific thing, break down what your needs are and then assign each den to do something. Chunk it down so everybody can get together within that den and get stuff done.
Yeah, that's how we did our summertime activities last year. Is we split it up amongst the dens, and basically we said, Bear Den, you've got June, and it was kind of up to them to do what they wanted to do and what they could do, and they came up with some pretty good stuff. So
Yeah, I have to agree. That helps take off some of the pressure, or putting it always on the same parents, and then you can kind of make it a den activity to prepare for that PAC meeting too. So, you can get creative with it, coming up with activities and different stuff. So that was good. I lost my train of thought here, but I think the other thing is the parent meeting concept. Don't call it a PAC committee, call it a parent meeting. Has anyone tried that tactic, or does it just kind of naturally happen as you guys are doing your activity planning? Dave, maybe, I don't know how you guys handle it up there in Black River Falls, but do you guys have a committee or do you just kind of randomly meet?
No, it's just been kind of the Cub Master and I kind of working together to set a calendar. And, there's a few things in this whole thing. I personally have a real hard time asking people to do things. And I think the video reinforces the need to do that, specific people, because I've kind of been the generic, I need to have den leaders or I need to have somebody to do this or that. And I know I've gone through some other things too that, you need to ask, and it's kind of the fear, well, what if they don't want to or say no? Well, they can say no or whatever, but I just personally have a real hard time calling people to do things.
Dave, I totally understand that fear, and it was something I've had to get over in this job for sure. But one thing I will say is I think you and Chris have done a really good job up in Black River, and the meeting that I was at earlier this month, you did have some parents step up and helping out. So I think if you did make that ask, they would be willing to help you out here and there. And so I would take advantage of that now and see what they can do.
Yeah, I guess that's, what that, if you do have that, kind of fear, I think that's why going back to, doing the activity planning, calendar, identifying those lead parents and just assigning them right then and there, especially if they come up with the idea, it's like they've already kind of pre-planned it in their head or can take ownership of it. So if you're doing it right then and there, you got a pretty big step, and you already got your help kind of identified along with the event. Yeah,
one thing that might also help that fear a little bit is just right from the very beginning, and just that messaging from, that recruitment night on of at some point you're going to be asked to do something as a leader, as a parent, being part of this program. I think if we continue to kind of reinforce that throughout the time, and even right away after, the way the recruitment set up is, I know I talk about in my talk that, hey, families are going to be asked to do something at some point along the way, and you give them that small thing right at the very beginning. Hey, can you help out with the next upcoming event or whatever? Just a small piece of it. You kind of can get them hooked in and built up right away. But it's from the very get-go of, hey, you're going to be part of it. If you're going to be part of this, we do need a little help too. So
We have had in PAC 91, we did do parent leader meetings every month. And they were very helpful in being able to make plans for the future months. But we scheduled them on the same night, same place. We held them by Zoom when we had to. So the parent meetings were very helpful. Right before I moved on from the PAC, we started getting new ones coming. So that was exciting to know that they were taking an interest in it. So they were helpful, yes.
I think one challenge I've run into personally is it's not necessarily a fear of asking. It's just kind of overcoming the thought, well, it'll just be easier if I do this myself. Right.
Yeah.
Because
or the fear of rejection.
yeah.
Or by the time you get it explained and what you want and what you need, it could have been done.
Right. Right. But I always have to remind myself that's, yes, we want it done, but that's just part of the purpose of doing this, right? We also
Yes.
want the involvement of the families and having them have some stake in it and having them participate in the activities with their kids. And that's part of the program. And so, even though it might just be easier to do it on your own, it's
Scouting,
always good to involve more of your families.
right? And scouting can be just as fun for the adults as it is for the kids. I don't know. I have a lot of fun spending that time with my kids. And I think that's an important thought about it as well. So,
I almost disagree with that, only because I think I've had much more fun than our kiddo did when he was younger, because for us, we miss that and we now appreciate it, where he's just too young he was too young at the time to appreciate it. I think Dirk and I personally have had more fun getting involved with scouting. The reason we're still so involved at the multitude of levels we are now is really because we just appreciate it more. So Andrew
Yes.
enjoys it. He loves scouting. He's still super involved all the way up, but we have much more fun with it now than he probably ever did, when he was going through it initially. But it takes you back to your childhood. And it's kind of those things that getting the parents involved, it brings back all these memories, whether they were ever scouts or not. That if you can get them invested and being like, it's not the kids doing the activity, it's everybody does the activity, and that
Right.
sucks them in, it gets them back involved to that. I remember when I did this, and then they're hooked, and that's what did it for us.
Mhm.
yeah,
You bet.
scouting should be just as fun for the parents. If the parents are having fun, they're going to bring their kids back as well.
Yep.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. And I think one thing and maybe I missed it in the video, but you should recognize all of your parents when they do help out, whether it's a certificate, a goodie bag, announcing them in front of the group, whatever, but recognize when people do help, because that'll help you retain them for future events or whatever. So I think that's a big piece as well.
I know that the council has, and I know we ordered them. And I gave them all to Sarah, and I don't remember what they're called now, but it's like a certificate of appreciation. And it's great to do if you're doing like a year-end thing, or even your blue and gold. And it's just as simple, just has the parent's name, and it's just got the Boy Scout logo on there. And it really is just a little thing to say thank you, but it's a really nice little certificate. But I know we ordered a whole pack of them from the council and have handed them out.
If
Is
you
that
want to
something?
frame them, remember Dollar Tree is really good having cheap frames.
Yep.
Yeah, we certainly have the certificates here, but it doesn't have to be anything formal either. I've seen people,
Create their own.
create their, spray paint an old spark plug gold and call it the Spark It Up Award that you give to a, parent that really helped take an event above and beyond, or, cut out a wooden cookie from the log at the campfire, and, give it to somebody at the next meeting as the, the dad that started the best campfire you'd seen all year. There's ways you can kind of make that recognition piece fun that people will remember. And, the units I see where the adults are having fun, it certainly creates a culture where other adults are more likely to get involved.
And we've got 40 seconds here left, but one thing that you guys will learn when you hop over to the troop is ashes from a fire. So if you got like a camp out or something that's pretty common to be shared and passed around in scouting circles. So you could start that as well in the Cub Scout side.
Very
Wow.
good.
Don't have a clue what that was, Zach.
Ashes from a
What that
fire.
meant. Yes.
Collect them when you got the fire burnt out, like the next morning, go back and collect some of the ashes. And then there's some ceremonies where ashes get passed around in the Scouts BSA side of things.
Once the fire's cold.
Sounds like an Iowa. Sounds like an Iowa
You just
thing.
add them to like a jar or something and just keep them and
Mhm.
It's the
Okay.
big wood badge thing.
okay.
Thank you for the backup, Margaret. I appreciate it.
I've had them
I
from all
might
across
learn
the
that when
country.
I get there.
I was kind of wondering if it was an Iowa thing too. I just made a note for us to chat about that, Zach. So
Oh, Kevin's got some in his office. I thought it was an OA thing. Okay.
Maybe.
I have a real neat neckerchief slide from about 40 years ago where a troop collected the last night in their summer camp. They had a big pot that was cooking, and they added some ashes to the fire, and they added this and some sand and a little bit. And then the wooden thing, they drilled a little hole, put a little bit of the soup in and sealed it with wax. So that was your memories of your weekend.
From both rooms, or are people still shifting over?
I think we're
Believe we're all
coming in.
back.
If you're not here, speak up.
If you're not, yeah, let us know if you're not here. All right. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. We had a good discussion in the Cub Scout breakout. Hopefully you did in Scouts BSA as well. We are now moving on to our council updates. So a lot of things to share here, so we're going to get right into it. We are going to start with training. So first of all, we've got a training recognition. Zach or Morgan, is this something you could cover?
Yeah, so Nurzin Santiago is the Scoutmaster for Troop 5, and he has been awarded the Scouters Training Award for Scouts BSA. So congratulations to Nurzin. I'm not sure if he is on right now, but he is able to now get that green knot that you see there and wear that on his badge. He's basically with that. I believe this one is the, John, did you have something there? Oh, you're muted.
That was
You're muted.
clapping. That was the little hand clapping.
It was a round of
Oh, it was
applause.
the hand
Yes.
clapping. Yeah. So yes,
Didn't mean to-
congratulations to Nurzin. So
All right, very good. And this is an award that all registered leaders are eligible for. I think this is the one that's there's a 2-year tenure and some other things to do, but anyone who's a registered leader on a committee, den leaders, anybody can earn this recognition. All right, so we do have some upcoming training opportunities. Some of these were covered in the breakouts, so we're not going to go through all of these, but Wilderness First Aid is one that was not. Tim, are you on? Was Tim on tonight?
I did not see Tim, but Lisa, do you want to talk about
Or
Wilderness
somebody
First
else?
Aid at all? Well,
Wilderness
ahead.
First Aid is April 30th from 8 to 4 and May 1st from 8 to 4. There is a CPR certification coming on Friday evening if you so choose. Lunch will be served at these. This is a course that's required for some of your high adventures, especially if you're going to go to some areas that are asking to have at least one adult leader that is with the troop or for the high adventure that is Wilderness First Aid trained. One of the things is it's a limited class size of 16. I believe our registration is up to 9 right now, so there's only a few more spots.
10.
But we do need, oh, we're up to 10.
Yep.
We do need people to get in. We've also been asked from outside resources if we can add to our course tour. So I would like to make sure this gets offered to all BSA first to get your name in and get registered, and then we'll go from there.
All right, thank you, Lisa. We're gonna skip over Blue and iTools and NYLT because those were covered in the breakouts, but the dates are there as a reminder. We are going to do a spotlight on Wood Badge this month though. And so we do have a slide and we have a couple of testimonials from past participants. So why don't we start with that? So I think I saw Wendy Gamble on. Wendy, are you still with us? Maybe she had to jump off. I know she had another meeting or something that she had to do. So maybe, I'm not sure she'll jump back. But Terry also, she was not able to be here. She had to be at church, but she did write something, kind of a testimonial, and I will read that now, and then we'll give you some details about Wood Badge. So Terry says, my experience in Wood Badge has been great. I learned to listen and learn from others. Every time I've been involved in a course, I've learned something I have forgotten about how to handle others. I have many new friends in scouting that helped me through life. The one thing that meant most to me was when I had 2 Eagle Scouts from my Troop 53 in Houston attend the course in 2017 and get their beads. It's good to see that scouting means a lot to them, to take the course and be the next generation in scouting. Wood Badge can offer everyone something that they can use in scouting and in life. Take the chance and sign up for the next course in September and October. So we do have some information here. So Lisa or Zach, do you want to give a little overview of what we have on the screen? Or I don't know. I didn't see it. Was Alan? Is Alan on?
Yeah, I did see Al. We'll let him talk about it since it's his course.
Okay.
Yep.
Or I don't know if Eric, do you want to say anything about it as the assistant?
Yeah.
I can certainly talk about it. Just to add on to what you just read, Matt, one thing that I wanted to mention about Wood Badge was I was a scout leader for many years before I took Wood Badge. And I know it was mentioned to me many times, you need to take it, you need to take it, you need to take it. I always found an excuse not to take it. Whether I'm always too busy, you know, it interferes with this, maybe it costs too much or whatever. But finally got to the point where I had enough pressure. I decided, okay, I'll take it this time. And my only complaint is I didn't take it sooner because it was everything everybody ever said it was. It's as much fun as they said it was. I learned just as much as everybody said I would, as they said I would. And even being on staff, once you go through the course, if you have the opportunity to be on staff, you learn even more. And so what Terry wrote in her testimonial is exactly right. Every time you interact with the course, you learn more and you relearn things that you forgot. But with that, I just want to say it's going to be offered in September and October this year. You can see the dates. It's $275. It's worth every single penny of that. We do need a minimum of 30 participants for this thing to run. If we do not get 30, then the course is canceled. So, and we have to have those 30 people signed up by a month out. So please do not hesitate in signing up. You definitely will not regret it. I've never talked to anybody that's regretted taking this course. It's amazing. And you will, one thing I like to say about this course is that this is the one training that you can take that will guarantee to make a difference if you complete it. And the reason I say that is because just by taking it, you make a commitment to do certain things that will make a difference. And if you do them, you've made a difference. So many other courses that you take, you can sit there and practically sleep through things and you can get, the card or whatever, you can get signed off on something. But this particular course, if you actually complete this course, it will make a difference in your scouting units and in the council. So I highly encourage this. And again, you will not regret it.
And if the 275 is a price point that seems daunting, the first thing I would suggest is one, go into your company. I've overseen a couple wood badge courses now, and I've actually had companies pay either some of it or sometimes all of the training for their employees. So think about that. And also we do have a little bit of a scholarship program here as well. So just reach out to myself and we can help accommodate you guys if cost is the issue.
Zach, let me just add real quick, as the course senior patrol leader, if you were a scout, this is your opportunity to be one again, because as participants, you function as scouts. If you never were a scout, it's your chance to see what being a scout was like and to rediscover things from your scout's perspective. And, oh shoot, I have one other thing. That's all right. Maybe I'll think of it. Go ahead.
All right. The one thing I would add is from a Cub Scout perspective, when I took this as a Cub leader, is Wood Badge really, it really cleared up for me the entire, the whole course of scouting from how it goes from Cub Scouts all the way through Scouts BSA, the entire experience that our scouts have, which a lot of times as Cub leaders, we don't really get that perspective and we don't see where this thing is going when our scouts get older and move on. And so I think it was really valuable even as a Cub leader. A lot of times it's thought of as something just for the Scouts BSA side, but it is a really valuable training for Cub leaders as well. All right, so sign up for Wood Badge. Okay, we've got a couple of summer camp updates. Joe, I think you were going to share a couple of things here.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. One on the Cub Scout side of things. Registration is open for all camps. You also can find the leader or parent guide online that has some information such as packing lists as well as an hour-by-hour schedule, so you can really see exactly what each camp is going to include. A reminder that there's a incentive for early registration by May 27th. All scouts doing that will receive a free t-shirt. The why on that is we're trying to help get this camp into everybody's calendars before the summer hits, because we know that things fill up very quickly after that point. Next slide. We also have summer merit badge days that will be offered once again. These have been quite popular the last couple of years as a way to, for scouts that are looking to fill a few extra days and pick up a few more merit badges. Registration also open for those. You can see the offering here, 5 merit badges each day, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It is not required for a unit leader or parent to be on site. We take care of that coverage through the camp staff, so scouts can be dropped off and picked up.
Okay, thank you. And don't forget, if your scouts are looking for a way to fund camp, that Scouting Adventure Cards are back this year, formerly known as Camp Cards. These sell for $10 each, and the scout gets to keep $5 that they can put towards camp. And the sale actually begins tomorrow on those.
Yeah, actually,
Zach.
Real quick, Matt, we've got the cards in. So if you guys want to pick them up, just let us know how many cards you want to check out and we can make that happen. Stop in at the office or talk to Morgan and I, and we can make that work for you. And then the other thing is not just for camp. It's actually can be used. It's just like popcorn, and the money can be used anything for scouting. So if that's buying a uniform, if that's buying, something to go to camp, whatever it might be, that's what the money is used for. It's and that's also why we changed the name from Camp Card to Adventure Card, because it can be used for any of the adventures that you do in Scouts.
Very good. All right, we got a Cub Scout event coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah, so speaking of adventures in your days, so we have the Cub Scout Day at the greenhouse. That's going to be this Franciscan sisters are holding it for us. We have 4 one-hour sessions that are going to be held from 1 to 5. It'll end, and the kids will get an opportunity to learn about microgreens and plant their own microgreen tray and take that home with instructions on how to care for it. They have a really great facility out there, and there's other opportunities too for you guys to go out there and have some fun on their land. So hope to see you guys there. I know it does. Someone did mention this does help fill a bear requirement, so hope to get that done and see you guys there.
All right, thank you, Morgan. Okay, so we also have coming up in less than a month now, all of our centennial celebration events, namely the Camporee, which is coming up, and registrations are rolling in. Now, Alan didn't share with Wood Badge, but we do have another installment of a video from Alan to share quickly. All right, are we over to the video? Can we see that? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Alan the Camporee Weatherman here. Hey, you know what? I didn't have a podcast for the March Roundtable, and apparently I was missed, as I received several letters from my fan club asking what happened. I even got one letter that contained all the letters of the alphabet. There was a note with the alphabet that said he wasn't sure what to write, so he sent me the entire alphabet so I could write my own letter. I do like to get serious here. Tell you all of the wonderful things that are going to happen at Camp Decorah in only just a few weeks. On Saturday, camp will be open to multitudes of people finding out firsthand what scouting is all about. There will be displays done by troops in attendance. There will be displays done by outside organizations. You might even get to witness history, or my favorite, scouting history in the Gateway Area Council. Some of these events for the Scouts BSA are outdoor cooking, shooting sports, a rope monkey bridge, and a compass course, a flight simulator, and other troop displays. Saturday night, we're going to have a nacho bar. And there will be the Civil Air Patrol from La Crosse will be there. Your Crittermobile from Wiscor, the River Valley Raptors. Tim Jacobson, he's a blacksmith. He's going to show you how to pound metal. The Mississippi Valley Amateur Radio Association will have their ham radio. The La Crosse Fire Department will have a truck. Sparta Ambulance Service will be there. And the La Crosse Astronomy Club, so we can look way up into the heavens and see planets. Scouting History Museum and the Order of the Arrow Section Museum will be there. And for the Cub Scouts, there will be GPS navigation. There will be mini submarines, boop, boop, boop. A compass course, gaga ball, balsa gliders, shooting sports, leatherwork, fire building, rocketry, and more. There will be a time capsule. You can write a story to share with the next group to open up that time capsule. An awesome, and I mean awesome campfire program. Gee, if I was a scout again, I would make sure I was there. Be sure to go to the Gateway Area website and get registered. So how about this weather that we're having right now? One day it's summer, the next day it's winter, and we even got snow again. But it will be out of its system soon, and then it will be warm, warm, warm. By May, we will have great weather. The jet stream I was talking about earlier podcast has changed. The Camporee weather now will be warm tropical breezes. Will blow straight up from the south. This will bring warm, sunny weather, but there's going to be a 1% chance of rain at night. So while everybody is sleeping, but you'll be able to hear the pitter-patter of rain on your shelter's roof to lull you into deep sleep. Oh yeah, don't forget your water bottle and skeeter dope.
All right, we are going to get to a couple of slides with information about the Camporee. A lot of this was shared in the video. So there's going to be things for everybody to do on Saturday, May 7th. A lot of those things that Alan mentioned are stations open for Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA, and then the big campfire program that evening. There is also, you might see there's a Fox Media spotlight on the Camporee that's going to be out, I think on the TV station. So look for that. Joe, anything else to share on just kind of general information from this slide?
Only thing I would offer is that troops are welcome to come just for the day. If you find that being there for the weekend does not work for your scout troop due to volunteerism or other schedules, we're glad to have you just for the day.
All right, very good. And this is that more of that troop information, kind of that jamboree style event. A lot of food stations, other things to do. We've talked a lot. There's the option to do a display for other units. And Webelos are encouraged to attend with the troops to help with that Webelos transition. So anything else with troop information?
No, the slide
Nope.
says it all.
Okay, very good. Cub Scouts are going to have an activity zone all to their own, with lots of things to do: shooting sports and rockets and leather work, gaga ball, building a balsa glider, all of it's there. They also have the option to visit some of those Scouts BSA displays to see what the next level is all about. And Webelos, who crossed over this year, will be recognized at that campfire event. So lots of Cub Scout things to do. And this is kind of the big info and some frequently asked questions. So Joe, maybe you want to cover a couple of these topics?
Yeah, so for anybody that registered prior to Tuesday, you will get your t-shirt at the event. That's for youth only. For adults that are looking to purchase a shirt, if you get that order in by Sunday night, you should have your shirt waiting for you at the event. And if you register between now and the event, well, that just means that we get you your shirt after the event. So you still get it. We're trying to do that as a way to kind of provide a little bit of additional oomph into this event in terms of what kids get, and then hopefully use that to build scouting visibility as kids wear it out and about as well too. And some information there on the different stations, and you want to emphasize that there's a really wide variety of programming through the entire day on Saturday. So regardless of the age of your scout, regardless of the interest they have, there absolutely will be something offered that whets their appetite for more scouting adventures.
Definitely. All right, thank you very much. All right, couple of events coming up just to get on your calendar. We've got Beaver Days to help get camp ready for this event and also for summer camp on April 23rd and 24th. You can check out the website to register. There will be a Scout Recognition Mass at St. Patrick's in Onalaska for any Scouts and Scouters who have earned the Catholic religious emblem. And so that's on Sunday, May 15th. You can RSVP to Cindy Solander about that. And Loggers Night is back this year, it sounds like. Do we have a date on that yet?
Yeah, actually, it'll be July 23rd, and
Okay.
there will be a blast coming out about that shortly. So
All right.
probably early next week. Look for an email.
Very good. Looking forward to that. Okay, we are excited to announce that next month we are going to meet in person for Roundtable. We have been listening, and one thing a lot of people have said is they miss meeting in person. They miss that connection. So we are going to make that happen. And so, you know, a couple of things that will happen there is we will have council program calendars available. So you'll be able to pick that up. You'll be able to continue making plans with your scouting community for summer events and things like that, and also start making plans for summer and fall recruiting. We do have locations set up. Some of them are established. And so you can see that here, scouting communities. Food will be provided at each of these locations. And therefore we do have, I'm going to go back to this slide, there will be a sign up genius for this so that we can plan for food. Joe, anything else to add on this at this point?
No, we're excited to see everybody in person next month. So stay tuned for the exact details of your location if it's TBD. Yeah,
we will get that out and in the emails in the coming month. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Joe for a final word, and then do we have a poll set up this month?
Yep.
Yes, no, yes.
Yes.
Okay, we do.
I created the polls. Yes.
All right, very good. So Joe, take it away.
Yeah, final minute here. We had a really great discussion over in the Cub Scout Breakout about volunteerism and kind of the importance of engaging parents to be volunteers within our unit, but then also some tips and tricks on the right way, or sometimes some of the common mistakes that we make when we try to engage people as well. And we certainly recognize this is a challenge for our troops as well. For those of you on the troop side that that maybe have been doing this a while and you're not quite sure how to get people involved with you, I would encourage you to maybe take a peek at that Cub Scout Breakout when the video is posted, because a lot of the items that we shared in that are certainly applicable to those on the troop side as well. Again, we thank and recognize everybody for everything they're doing, but we know that everybody would like to see other people volunteering alongside them too. So let's find a way to embrace that and get some of those other families in our units involved alongside us too.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We look forward to seeing everyone in person next month. Be looking for emails about information about that opportunity. So we are going to go to a poll right now, and we will see you all next month.
It's not letting me do it, Zach. If you hit polls, does it let you?
It popped up.
Oh, I don't see it at all. So I don't know why I don't see it.
Need to remember to add an NA for the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't submit the poll unless you answer the question. So I'm just gonna say that
5 then, Brenda.
5 on the
Just give
scouts.
everyone 5s, Brenda.
There we go.
No, you can put 1 if you weren't in that. That'll let us know.
Okay.
Good
See you
night,
guys
everybody.
later.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.